Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free book review for The Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. Josiah Bancroft is the author of the Books of Babel quartet, which I read, loved, and really enjoyed. I do have reviews for those books, I believe all of them except for the last one, so I will link those up in the cards as well as in the description box below if you're interested in checking them out, especially if you are new to Josiah Bancroft as an author. So the way that I structure my book reviews is I discuss the plot, the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, and then I give the book an overall rating. So if you're interested in skipping to any one of those particular timestamps, I always put them down in the description box below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into the plot of The Hexologists. In The Hexologists, we are following a woman named Isolde and her husband Warren, and they live in a world known as Biberton, and they are hexologists. There are 4 types of magic that can be wielded in this world. We have alchemy, wizardry, hexagy, and necromancy. However, the only ones that are really practiced anymore are alchemy and hexagy. Wizardry and necromancy have pretty much died out, and they're kind of considered taboo. Isolde is a very, very talented hexologist, and she used to work for Biberton's police department, but ended up leaving the constabulary to become kind of like a private detective using her skills, and her husband does help her. And she also has a father that went missing when she was a child, but he was really mysterious, and he will travel around the world finding all of these magical artifacts, and he collected them into this vault that literally is magically sealed inside this carpet bag. And when I think about that, I think about the magical bag that Hermione had in Harry Potter, and also Mary Poppins' bag, where it was just like endless and she could pack a whole bunch of stuff in it. But there's literally like a vault inside this bag, and it has all of these magical artifacts that Isolde and her husband have at their disposal when writing hexes and things like that to help them in their investigations. And this is a highly coveted bag. People know about it and are always trying to steal it from these two people. In addition, Isolde at the beginning of the book uncovers that there is a dragon living inside this bag, and the dragon becomes kind of like the chronicler and the gatekeeper for all of the artifacts in this bag. One day, the royal secretary to the crown of Biberton comes to Warren and Isolde and asks for their help. He said that their king has slowly gone mad. He's losing his mental faculties, and they received a letter with the king's signet ring inside the letter from someone claiming to be the king's son who feels like he has a claim to the throne. So the royal secretary wants the two of them to investigate the veracity of this claim to see if this person is a threat to the throne and what's going on, and maybe has something to do with the king's sickness, because they don't want any unrest in their kingdom with people playing Game of Thrones. So the two hexologists take on this job, but as they slowly uncover the truth behind this claim, they realize that there is a whole lot more going on with regards to the crown, secrets that they've been keeping, as well as how it is affecting the magic of this world. So in the magic of this world, in addition to the 4 different avenues that people can take, necromancy, alchemy, hexagy, and wizardry, alchemy is actually what fuels the technology in this world. And the way that they get this fuel is they open up a portal to a different realm, the alchemists do, and they get this energy from this realm and transform it somehow, and that is what runs the electricity in this world, their cars, their lights, etc. So it's a very, very unique world, and technology is very interdependent on magic and alchemy. All right, you guys, if you are enjoying this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, as well as giving this video a like to throw my channel a little bit of support. Also, I am the author of the science fiction book Aftermath, which is available in Kindle or paperback on Amazon and has a 4.5 rating on Goodreads. Going on to the things that I liked about this book, kind of piggybacking off of that, was the world. I always thought the world that Josiah Bancroft created in the Books of Babel was really bizarre and unique, and he carries that talent over into this series as well. So like I said, magic fuels technology. We have technology like cars and things that we recognize from our own world that are just reimagined to use magic. We also have these huge alchemy mills that produce this electricity, and it produces this ash that falls on the city all the time. So the city is very industrialized, and I just get this feeling of like the Industrial Revolution when I was reading. There is a scene also where Isolde is inside one of the alchemy factories and kind of is describing how it works to get this magic from this other realm once this portal was open, and it was just very bizarre, and it reminded me like if Tim Burton were to adapt this book into a movie and direct it, that is what it reminded me of. It was just bizarre. And then there were just little bits of magic that the author threw in to kind of build up this world. So for example, there is something called shadow swimming where Isolde can put this ring on, literally jump into a shadow and swim between shadows. There are all of these creatures and flora and fauna that come from this portal world into their world that are very bizarre. So it's just a weird book. He just writes very weird things, but it works for the story that he writes. I also really liked the whole husband and wife duo. I don't think I've read a book really where we had a husband and wife who were solving mysteries together. And Isolde is definitely the more academic one. She is the one that just has that inquisitive mind. And I feel like Warren was more of her support, and he was more of the big teddy bear that could threaten people to get what he wanted, but he was really, really sweet. He's like a really big guy, and he's always cooking for her. And they were just a really sweet couple, and they worked well together. And I really liked that we had a husband and wife who were solving mysteries. I also like the way that Josiah Bancroft wrote them. He wrote them in a very like real way. As someone who is married myself, like I could relate to a lot of the stuff that they were saying and doing together. And he really didn't shy away from like showing the romantic love between married couples and how physical attraction and physical love is still present in Isolde and Warren's marriage, which I thought was really sweet. Another thing I like about this author is his humor. He has a very dry sense of humor, and we see that a lot in his description of things, how events unfold to be humorous. And even the dragon who lives inside of the carpet bag, which is called the portmanteau, he is named Felivox, and he is just quirky and funny and added a lot of humor to the story. So we have this like dire circumstance where these characters are trying to uncover this mystery, but at the same time we have a lot of humor too, which was just refreshing. And this book also had kind of an open-ended ending. So like I said, we're presented with a problem that the Hexologists need to solve by the end of the book, and they do solve the mystery, but what they uncover is like a deeper, darker secret that the crown has been hiding, and that kind of opens up for a continuation of the series. So if you are someone that wants to read a book, but it can be read as a standalone, this book absolutely can, but the author did a good job throwing in different things into the story that could be expanded on in future books in the series, specifically things having to do with Isolde's father and his disappearance. Is he actually dead or not? We don't know. And then also some things going on with Constance, the princess or the sister to the king, and some secrets that she is hiding. So there's definitely a lot of plot lines that Josiah Bancroft can expand upon in future books, which made me very excited to see where he's going to go with this series. As for the things that I didn't like so much, I wish that Warren had been a bit more developed as a character. Like I said, Isolde is the inquisitive mind. She seems to be the more analytical, and she's the one that would, in my opinion, gather all the clues and basically solve everything. And I felt like Warren was kind of just her sidekick. And I would have liked to seen him more involved in actually solving the mysteries and him having an analytical mind instead of just allowing her to take the headway on everything. So I was hoping a little bit that he would just be more developed. There were a couple scenes where he did attempt to rescue his wife and really showed active heroism, and I could appreciate that, but I don't know, I wish he was a little bit more well-rounded. Another thing that I wish had more context was the magic system itself. So we do have a character who's introduced who is called a pluralist, and pluralists are able to use more than one type of magic. So they're able to practice wizardry, hexagy, any one of the four, but all of them. And that is like a very, very once in a generation, if that thing, where a pluralist comes about. But we, for example, see the magic wizardry. Okay, if you're a wizard, what are you able to do being a wizard? What are your limitations? How do you access the magic? Like, there wasn't any really clearly defined parameters for any of the four types of magics. Hexagy and alchemy more so because they were more prevalent, but we do have a wizard in this book. We do have a pluralist in this book, and there were scenes where these magical beings, because the parameters of the magic system weren't really defined, they were kind of able to do what they wanted. And that helped the two characters solve the mystery of this potential illegitimate child. And when that happened, I was like, okay, well, Isolde didn't really solve the mystery in the end because of anything that she was able to do. The magic system basically helped her solve the mystery. It just seemed a little bit convenient to me and a little bit weak, and the author threw that in as a twist at the end. I did have the audiobook for this, and I was listening to that section of the audiobook, and I was like, okay, so this character is tricking this other character and basically hypnotizing them. Is that something that their magic can do? Like, it just seems like he was throwing that in because it had to happen in order for this plot twist to work. And I just wish that, like I said, the magic had been more defined, so I knew exactly what these different characters were capable of if they were able to wield certain magics. In the end, I really liked the Hexologists. I had a lot of fun with this. I loved the world. I thought it was really bizarre. I loved the characters. I loved the fact that the husband and wife were solving mysteries. I really loved the little nuances that the author added in to make this world unique. I really enjoy Josiah Bancroft's prose and his word choice. He uses words that are a bit unconventional, and I said this when I did my review of the Books of Babel series. That is a bizarre series, and he uses words that you just don't see every day, you just don't use every day, but it fits in his world, and he did the same thing with the Hexologists. I really liked the 4 different types of magics and how different people could wield different magics. I would like to see more wizardry and necromancy in further books, but the alchemy was really interesting and how it tied into the technology of the world. And I'm going to continue with the series for sure because I had such a fun time reading this. And I ended up giving the Hexologist a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you guys have not read Josiah Bancroft, I do recommend him. Just know that he might not be for everybody because he is a little peculiar in how he writes and how he world builds, but I find it different and refreshing, and I hope that you guys do too. All right, you guys, that is my book review for The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video soon. Bye!